This is the Lime Flavored Network. This show is brought to you by Trisha's Bakery at trishasbakery.com.
This is the greatest show online, episode 3, being recorded and broadcast on April 15th, 2013. I am DJ Allen, and that is over there, down there on the thing.
Hi, Bob Miotto.
Woo! Now, for those of you that were here for the pre-show, which was none, don't worry about it. It's all going to end up on the end, so when it comes out and all processed. So, go ahead,
watch
Bob.
this?
What?
Nuns watch this?
Nobody's watching at this very moment, but I guarantee we will have a viewer before too long.
I thought you said nuns. I was like, oh, do we have to watch our language?
Oh, no.
No,
You know what?
Huh.
I was thinking that maybe we wanted to tone down the language. However, while I was sitting at the bar earlier today, balls deep in a nun's ass, I thought, why bother trying to tone this down? Why try to contain something that won't be contained?
The uncontainable.
In a nun's ass, balls deep. Okay, now, for those of you that weren't here for the pre-show, like I said, it'll end up on the end. But Bob's going to tell us a story time, and go ahead, Bob, set it up a little bit, and then just get right into the story. Don't let me stop you. Unless I say stop.
The one we talked about already?
Wait, my story?
What story? What story are you talking about?
You said you were going to talk about wrestling, and I stopped you, and then we said we were...
Oh, yeah. It's actually a true story, though, that I heard about. And this amazes the hell out of me. The Undertaker.
Yes.
Now, I'm not a really big wrestling fan. I never have been. My brother used to watch it all the time when I was a little micro Bob. But I got bigger. But The Undertaker, this is a cool story. From what I understand, the way that they found him, we might have talked about this before on a different show, was that there was a scout for wrestling who was just driving through town, and this guy comes flying out a window. And so the scout immediately pulls over and goes inside, and there's the Undertaker. There's and all the people in the bar were knocked the fuck out, and this guy seriously took on this bar. And the scout comes walking in, and he looks up. He's like, "We want you." So that's how I heard they found the Undertaker. Is just this big motherfucker who took on a bar.
I'm going to have to say that is not a true story, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay. And then after you tell me what the real story is, we'll just go ahead and take the best story and just forget about the other one.
Well,
true or not, we'll find the best one.
the Undertaker, as we know him now, his name is Mark Calloway. Mark Calloway used to wrestle for WCW a long time as Mean Mark Callis. So, yeah. There's, in fact, you know what I've
maybe even before that though. I mean, I don't really know when that happened.
Okay, it's possible. Let's go with your theory that it happened before, but he wasn't Undertaker right away. He was Mean Mark Callis.
Yeah, I mean, he was just but from what I understand, that was just how they originally found him for wrestling. So that could have been before. It could have been a made-up story. But either way, it's kind of neat, don't you think?
I think it's a good possibility. Do you know who X-Pac is?
No.
What about Six-Pac?
Six?
1, 2, 3 Kid?
You're making these up, right?
No. All right, there's a wrestler whose name is Sean Walt. His real name is Sean Waltman, and he goes by X-Pac or Six-Pac or 1, 2, 3 Kid. He's also he keeps changing his name every time he goes back and forth to places. Anyway, one of his signature moves is getting his opponent in the corner on their ass, and then he comes in and kind of rides their chest by bouncing up and down on it. So, now this is an actual real story, and I could probably bring a link into it, but I'm not going to go looking for the link. So, he's at an independent show in some town, and he's going in for that little riding maneuver, which he calls the Bronco Buster. Now, I don't know if he was completely unaware this was happening, but his opponent moves before he gets there. So he rides into the corner, and his ass hits the turnbuckle, which apparently was either ill-covered or not covered at all. He finishes the match, and he lost because it was in the cards for him to lose. However, when he got home, he noticed there was a lot of blood in the toilet. So he went in to the hospital, and he got admitted because of his failed Bronco Buster where his ass landed on the improper turnbuckle. He literally tore himself a new asshole.
Wow. If you are going to tear yourself a new asshole, though, I do recommend near the one that you already have. Don't get creative and put one somewhere else. Near the other one, I mean, I don't suggest it at all. But if you got to do it.
Okay.
I
got
it's not the 15th.
It isn't the 15th? Wait.
No, it's the 12th.
12th. Sorry. No one's paying attention. Shh. I'm not rereading the opening. I don't do that. Well, because the graphic to me is backwards, so it looks like a 5, and I just went on right with it.
Here I was talking, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Wow.
That's what happens when my mind kind of rewinds a little bit and replays things from the past. Is that right there what you just saw?
So, Bob, how have you been in the last week?
I've been pretty good. This is my fourth week, maybe, at my new job.
Okay.
Since the holidays of this past year, I was actually up to just about 275 pounds.
I'm still heavier than you.
What was it? It was just under 249 now.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
Since the holidays, man.
I'm at the 18-pound mark, and hopefully tomorrow morning I'll be up to 20. But I have something to show you, Bob. I just realized that I haven't showed you this yet. Do you like Doctor Who?
Yeah. That is so cool. That is so cool. I've actually talked about getting one of those.
Well, this was at Barnes and Noble, and it comes apart. There's like pieces you can mix and match. I was so giddy. I mean, so there's like other pieces here, and there's tops, and it's all kinds of awesome.
Wow.
I know. And only one of them makes the noise and color and stuff, but I've technically got 3 sonic screwdrivers right now.
I need a sonic screwdriver. Now, the one episode of Doctor Who,
yes,
where the governor from Walking Dead,
the next Doctor.
Yes,
name of the episode.
He had a screwdriver in there, and it was a regular screwdriver. And the doctor says, "That's your sonic screwdriver?" And he takes it, and he taps it on the door frame, and says, "It makes noise. That's sonic."
Well, everything he did was just everything could be explained away, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like his TARDIS, the big hot air balloon. Like, tethered, and I don't remember what it was, but it was a big hot air balloon. Yes, I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
I just had to show you my sonic screwdriver, and we just got it last night. It was pretty awesome.
I'm jealous. The only sonic screwdriver I have is right there. Hold on just a second. Talk amongst yourself.
Okay, I can talk amongst myself. The other options were a TARDIS, which was about, I don't know, 8 inches tall, that makes noise, and the other option was miniature, almost Lego-like imitations of all 11 Doctors with stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the Doctors.
He was one of them in the pack. I could have had all 11.
Yeah, that's one of them. And I bought this one, and my wife got in the seat, and she kind of threw all my stuff off the side, and lost my little screwdriver. My little screwdriver that went in his hand.
Yes.
She lost it. So, being my awesome wife, she replaced and got me a brand new one who has a screwdriver, but that's in the house. I also have a Dalek, Amy and Rory, and a Cyber Guy.
Cyberman. That's my favorite villain, Cyberman.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
They are pretty cool.
I'm a big fan of the Silence.
The Cybermen have been around for so long, though. That's where I get it. I've got decades of longevity there.
Are you fuzzy on your side?
Well, you're a little fuzzy to me, and I'm positive I'm probably a little fuzzy to you.
Okay.
It's okay. I still love you.
How about now?
Now you're fuzzy. Whoa. We had 2 viewers a minute ago. Now we have no viewers.
Why not? This was some gold that we were showing them.
I know. We're gonna have to get crazier. We're gonna have to get crazier, Bob.
We even have a guest star this week. It's a little doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, who's your favorite Doctor?
Modern or all time?
All time, and then all time and then modern.
Well, here's how it goes. My favorite classic Doctor is Colin Baker. He's the one in the crazy red multicolored coat.
With the afro?
Blonde afro, basically, yes.
Yes.
Okay, but my favorite Doctor overall is David Tennant, because he was awesome.
He was pretty cool. I mean, he had an awesomeness about him that just... This new guy, Matt, when I first seen him, I didn't like him. Not at all. Because he wasn't David. But he started to grow on me, quite a bit.
Woo!
Bob, bless you.
Yes. Hi, Mandy. Mandy's watching us.
Hi, Mandy.
You can't see her comments because... What the hell? Because you don't have the toolbox working, but I can see her comments. So she says, DJ is not fuzzy, and I am here watching, so you just sit and talk Doctor Who. No, Mandy, we don't just sit and talk Doctor Who. We kind of got off on a tangent. We started out with pro wrestling. We talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. And
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. We talked... Can you do that on the air?
I just didn't I? Okay,
where can you get this kind of entertainment for free?
Right. Now, on Monday when I had my show, I had my eye was watering because spring there's enough pollen in the air to let my allergies really hammer me in the balls. So I was blowing my nose on the air because I had no choice. Otherwise, it would have been dribbling all over my face. So
blowing your nose on air looks totally different. It's like
shit.
You, sir, were using a tissue.
Oh, did you see the new lower third here? It's all pretty and...
Yeah, what is that? It almost looks like a close-up stretched version of Mars or something.
Actually, it's watercolored orange, and I
Oh,
colored
dude,
it.
I was so close.
Yeah, in fact, I can show you the original. Well, maybe I... No, I can't. I threw the file away. Damn!
The Waters of Mars. You know, I saw an episode of Doctor Who the other day that I've never seen before. It's like, wait a minute. How is this possible? I've watched the entire thing on Netflix, like, I think 3 times now. I've watched the entire thing, and yet I saw an episode that I've never seen before. It's like, how is this possible? And it had David David guy. Well, I think it was one of the Christmas specials.
No.
No?
David Tennant never really had a last season. His last season was a bunch of specials, and Waters of Mars was one of those specials.
Waters of Mars was one of the ones that was on, but that wasn't that one.
Well, there's Waters of Mars. There's shit.
I can't even think of what happened in it. Oh, it had a some big portal opened up and a bus went through into the desert.
That is
And there's this thief chick who was with him.
yes,
She ends
yeah.
up flying off in the bus at the end.
To the internet. Yeah.org. Woo! Do you watch porn, Bob?
Yeah.
All right, just curious.
I'm a guy. Sorry, I meant I'm alive.
Yeah. Planet of the Dead. Planet of the Dead.
Yes, sir, that was the one.
Yes.
And I'd never seen that one before. It's like, why have I never seen this episode before? How is this even possible?
That's the episode. That's the special. It was an Easter special. That's the special where the lady makes the announcement that he's going to die when someone knocks 4 times.
I remember that. Yeah, at the very end, that's when he sees the ood.
Yes.
I like the ood. They're kind of like those mind flare things from the Dungeons and Dragons, and you can't say mind flare without doing this.
You also can't say Cthulhu without doing that too.
Good call, man. Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cthulhu, it's a bad idea. He will come and rise up out of the ocean, grab your face, and then pull you under.
Well,
if you don't go insane before then.
He tried to pull me underwater, but I ducked. I love that joke.
Oh, I want to recap something, Bob.
I done did it myself. What? Cap again.
Yes, to cap again. Now, you used to say, and I'm sure you got this from someplace, that in order to fly, you had to hurl yourself at the ground and miss.
Yes, that was Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay. And we've also come up with the idea on how to lose weight, which is to abruptly walk into a room and leave before your weight realizes what's going on.
Yeah, that should work. Also, a good thing that you could try is keeping your junk food up on top of the refrigerator, because calories are afraid of heights and they will jump out to save themselves.
I was not aware of that. That's important information that needs to be disseminated to the people.
We got all of our chips up there because that's pie. The calories are working their way out of that stuff.
You know where the calories are working their way out over here? My ass.
Where's that?
And by that, I don't mean that my ass is getting smaller. I mean it's the stuff coming out of, not in this moment, but stuff comes out of my ass.
Huh. Well, if you were a wrestler, you could have 2 assholes. Lose it twice as much.
There's a guy who just referenced the story we talked about.
And if there is anybody watching right now,
yes,
they're like,
well, Mandy's Mandy came in
What?
a little late, but yeah, she's watching. I'm gonna get rid of the lower third there so I can just watch the stream. Don't cross the streams. That's bad. Don't
do
it.
that, Ray.
And if somebody asks you if you're God, Bob,
You say yes, because that's a big Twinkie.
a big Twinkie. I'm gonna take this sweatshirt off because I don't want to be advertised in the post office. Oh,
Who knows about the post office?
I know about the post office. Post office is hiring. Adjust my camera again.
But I've got a job. Oh my gosh, I saw an elk.
It was a moose.
Oh, my bad. I'm from Indiana. We don't have elks or mooses.
I had to go into a taxidermy place today, and there were large stuffed bears staring at me when I went in there.
That's cool.
That was a little freaky.
Why do you have to go to a taxidermy place?
For my job, I had to deliver something.
Ooh.
There's a
Here's
taxidermy.
your dead stuff.
There was all kinds of animals in there, but like surrounding the door, there is a gigantic grizzly and a black bear and a polar bear, and I'm looking at them like, that's not the place to put bears. I mean, you want to put them in the further back, so because it's a little freaky.
You know, I see a place that had a buffalo head. Those fucking things are big.
Yeah, we've got them all over up here or over here.
Huge. I mean, just the head itself was humongously big. Nope.
Yes. Yeah, I had to shut the light off. It was a kitchen glare.
Gotcha.
Mandy wants to know who you are, Bob.
I'm that cool Bob guy. How you doing? I'm friends with DJ. Obviously, we were in the Navy together.
Yes. I would say that you were the roommate I had the longest, right there at the end.
And the awesomest.
Way awesomest. And that's the end of the
Offensiver.
Wow. Wow. Hey, we haven't come up with any funny stuff yet, Bob. Come on.
Hey, what's that on your wall back there? It looks like a big spider.
That?
Yeah.
That's a mask. It's like something you'd find. See, if you can. Well, now that it's up, there's the two little eye holes over here, and then the rest of that's feathers and a stick.
I got a mask on my wall also. I don't know if I can show you this or not.
It's like a tiki thing.
Yeah. Tiki. What a fun word to say. It's like gazebo. Tiki.
Gazebo.
Huh? Gazebo.
Yeah.
Gazebo. But tiki. Tiki's also a cool word.
Yes, tiki is a cool word.
I shall say that more often. I'm going to find ways to work that into more sentences.
You should. I want to resurrect words, and Conan O'Brien attempted to do this a while ago, but I think that he just needed us to do it also. So I want to resurrect the word thrice. So I want you to use thrice in common conversation.
Like 3 times?
Thrice.
I can use it 3 times, I think.
If I've told you once, I've told you thrice.
Nice.
Let me write that down. It's not very funny, but
is that the same Mandy who played werewolf or vampire? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Mandy that played vampire.
Wasn't there a Mandy who played vampire with you?
No, you're thinking Morgan.
That was the M name. Yes.
Yes, that was the M name. Mandy was on the old lime-flavored podcast, and I got her on air peeing. So if you go back in the lime-flavored podcast feed, you can actually find the episode called Girls Peeing and listen to it.
I might have actually heard it because I was listening to a lot. DJ blew his nose on air.
Two shows this week. True.
Cool.
Yes. Yes. I have a question for you, Bob.
Yes.
Do you have a possible co-host in May that you could bring on to do the greatest show online?
Are you going to be on vacation or something?
I will be absent for a week or two, yeah. Rather than cancel the show, I would rather have Bob run amok.
I actually do have somebody who I'm sure is more than willing to do this. Currently, he's working second shift. For those of you who don't know, second shift is from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night. But he's going to be going to third shift, which is the 11 o'clock at night until 7 o'clock in the morning, soon. So I don't know if what shift he'll be on then. Obviously, if he's working second shift, though, he won't be able to be here now. I mean, not now, because he's definitely not a time traveler. But I mean, like now, then. There's the timey-wimey stuff again. Ignore me. So
I want to build a time machine, and I want to get this show going before I ever even come up with the idea.
I want a time machine.
I do too.
I actually wanted to build a Vorpal transmuter also.
You've mentioned this before. Tell everybody what a Vorpal transmuter is.
Yeah, it's something that I've been working on. I've been working on it for years. All right, it's a trans-dimensional Vorpal transmuter, subatomic-like even. So far, I've got the name. But I'm working on it. A subatomic Vorpal transmuter. I don't know what that is. But fuck, dude, it sounds cool. And I'll have comfy seats.
You have to have comfy seats. Now, how many is it going to seat?
Probably 3 or maybe even 4.
I think that you should also have cup holders and maybe an emergency brake just in case that there's an emergency.
Oh, that's a good call right there. Because you never know what kind of emergency you'll have in a Vorpal transmuter.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it could basically be anything. Like, oh no, we're out of toilet paper. Or, I mean, who knows?
You don't want to run out of toilet paper in your Vorpal transmuter.
Subatomic-like even.
Do you remember the rules of life, Bob?
Cows are cool. Beer is our friend. Oreos are evil. Don't trust them. And fish don't exist.
We actually created 3 more, if you remember.
I don't remember the other 3.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
That right there, yeah. Rules to live by.
I want to point this out here. I have used these rules in the past with coworkers and friends, and I got into a serious, super in-depth discussion about fish not existing. Now, the conversation, it went on for quite a while, but what it ended up with is fish don't exist. So they kept saying, well, why does, if I'm eating fish, why do I fill up? And I'm like, well, are you eating something with the fish? And they're like, well, yeah, I usually have rice or bread. Well, you're filling up on rice and bread. Okay, well, there's fish in the bucket when I go fishing. No, you think there's fish in the bucket.
It's a mass hallucination. Mass hallucin. What? Where's that word that I'm thinking?
Hallucination.
Hallucination. Mass, and then hallucination. I did it that time.
Well, the conversation also strayed, and he said, I once ate fish, and that was it. Just fish, and I got full. And I'm like, well, you deluded yourself, so you probably went hungry that night.
There are people who can cure themselves of diseases by taking sugar pills. Same thing.
It's true. Mandy would like to know why I'm going to be absent. I'm going to make her. really
He's
annoying.
going all ninja and shit.
It's really annoying when your cam flickers. Well, you know what, Mandy? We all can't be perfect, and Bob has to. What is that? Is that your dungeon that you're in?
This is my dungeon.
Yeah. See, so he's got to live. He's got to work in the dungeon. Mandy, why don't you go out and recruit some more viewers? I'd like to be talking to like 11 people instead of just one.
Wow. It wouldn't be as personal with 11 because it's an odd number. 12 will work. All right, I even confused myself on that one, but
Oh man, I would like to create a cartoon with you, Bob.
really,
Oh, speaking of, before I say that, you talked to me about Axe Cop. Do you remember telling me about Axe Cop?
yes, sir, I do.
Did you know that Axe Cop is going to be its own cartoon on TV soon?
No.
You might want to look this up after the show. Axe Cop is going to be its own show.
I will write it down, probably in my cool, awesome language that nobody else can read. Well, except for a few of us. So I remember to look that up. Axe Cop. Wow, that's you know the problem though. Annoying Orange. I used to like Annoying Orange. It was annoying and it was funny. It got too big. When it started, there was a TV show that has now started of the Annoying Orange, and it kind of sucks now. So I hope that Axe Cop remains awesome.
They apparently want to stick fairly close to the original formula, but it looks like they. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll try to find me a trailer. But it looks like they're gonna try to string larger stories together. Let's see.
Axe Cop, for anybody who doesn't know, who is going to be watching this or who is currently watching this, it's pretty cool. It's written by a 5-year-old and drawn by his like 30-something-year-old brother. So I mean, it's pretty much this guy is playing with his brother, and they're coming up with a story. So I mean, it's the type of thing that while you're reading it, it's like, wow, this was definitely made by a 5-year-old, but it's awesome. Pretty cool.
You know, they played a freaking trailer and everything. Where is what?
I'm going to put me over there for just a minute, and I will be right back.
Oh, okay. That's scary. Scared, Bob. Man, I'm so confused. There we go. First clip. I found the clip for Axe Cop. We're gonna play.
And I'm back. See how quick that was? That was amazing. Yeah. Vorpal transmuter.
Okay, wait. Are you ready? Hang on. I'm about to show you Axe Cop the cartoon.
Ooh, I want to see it.
Yes. Okay. So here we go. Let me screen share. It's off of MTV's Geek site. Let's see here. You should now be looking at. All right. Here we go. Doo-doo-doo.
Ask Axe Cop.
Dear Axe Cop, what do you do for Halloween?
Well, Timmy, on Halloween I dress up as a wolf-eye. That's a werewolf mixed with a vampire. I always invite my team to go trick-or-treating with me. Anyone else want to go trick-or-treat? No. They never want to come, so I always go alone. My goal is to get over 1,000 candies. Trick or treat! I have a large candy bucket with a picture on it of me boxing with my axe. It glows in the dark. It can light up the whole world. Oh! Sometimes a place will be locked. So I get in with my axe and take some candy. On Halloween, all the cops are asleep, and you can take any candy you want. Last year when I got home, I counted the candy. 1,051 candies for us all! But then I had to check them for poison. I used poison detecting goggles in my axe. I throw the poison ones in the poison trash. 11 candies for us all! Happy Halloween.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so that's
So here is I don't know how well you can see it. It's a T-Rex with machine gun arms. That's their partner. That kind of shows up at one point here. It's a T-Rex with machine gun arms.
absolutely. And Mandy, you are
Yeah.
good enough.
Huh?
Mandy said, so I'm not good enough? No, it's not that, Mandy. It's that we want more people so that you can share with us.
Sure.
But, well, you know
There's
what?
got to be people out there that you want to see the awesomeness that is I and he and us.
Yes. And if we were merged, we would have two heads.
Yeah. Mandy, if you had your show on here, I would tell other people to watch.
Yeah. Now, back to the T-Rex with machine gun arms. Do you know why a T-Rex needs machine gun arms?
What's that?
Because I'm betting those machine guns are long enough to reach his penis, because he's probably just letting it fly when he's got to pee.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So, yes. I do, and this is 1, 2, and 3 of X-Cop. There is a second little seasony thing. Seasony? That's not right. What do you call like little blocks of comics?
Issues. Oh, wait. Trades?
No? Well, like this is 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3, and then that's it. And then like later on, they came out with another 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. We shall call them Axe-Cop Thrice.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yes, I did. It was very awesome. I'm trying to recruit some more people here. There we go.
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Well, you have to have cookies.
Yeah.
Except I shouldn't be eating the cookies.
No, because cookies are bad.
They're full of bad stuff, like bad
cookie-
things. What?
Don't eat bad things.
Don't eat bad things.
Like vampires and
Zombie flesh.
zombie flesh. Don't eat zombie flesh. Remember, kids, do not eat zombie flesh. If you eat a zombie, you become a zombie.
Here's some words to live by. Never eat yellow snow. Never pet a burning dog. That's.
Never play leapfrog with a unicorn.
Did you know? Do you want to know how all the unicorns died?
How?
Somebody gave them a package of hot dogs and told them to roast them.
Nice.
Yeah.
So first they all became female. Then, hey, do female unicorns have horns too?
That's a good question. That is a good... Bob, that is very metaphysical of you.
It was brought to my attention for the first time not that long ago that in the Bible it mentions unicorns like 3 times.
Does it?
Yep. Apparently, on a biblical style, unicorns are real. Or were at one time. Until the whole hot dog incident.
Right.
They don't like to talk about that. Yeah. Hi!
Oh, I hate Facebook. I'll be honest with you, Bob. I hate it.
Okay.
It's stupid.
Stupid Facebook.
The ratio of idiots to people I want to talk to is so astronomically idiot heavy that it almost makes it counterproductive to want.
Like Abe in a vice.
Hey, you let the great emancipators engraving go.
Consider it done. Good it is.
Funny things that were sold on eBay for lots of money. Are you ready?
Yes.
Jesus French toast.
Ooh, yummy.
An engraving of the great emancipator, which we now know is a penny. You want to know how much that sold for?
How much?
A little over $10.
Really?
Can you imagine how upset you'd be to buy an engraving of the great emancipator and find out it's a penny?
This particular penny goes for about 1 cent.
That's the last time I checked. That's how much a penny was worth. It was 1 cent.
So, what kind of syrup can possibly be good enough to eat Jesus French toast? I mean, like, seriously, how can you deem, what kind of syrup could be deemed worthy of Jesus French toast?
Virgin Mary maple? That's not even the weirdest thing, Bob. How about dehydrated water?
Oh, it's like an empty package or something?
It's a jar. It's an empty jar. You just add water and it rehydrates.
Nice.
Yeah. Somebody bought that. Apparently eBay really got mad when that got put out.
You know, 1 year I was pretty nervous. I seen there was a which one was it? The PlayStation 3. Here it said PlayStation 3, and it was only going for like $250, something like that. And bam, I jumped on it. Well, then I'm reading the description. I'm like, oh shit! It was PlayStation 3. It said like new box, because they all say new in box. Like everything says new in box. Well, this was just new box. It was the box under the description. It was the box for the PS3.
Right.
Going for like $200 something. Well, I already clicked the whole like, yeah, fuck yeah. Well, it didn't take long at all before somebody outbid me, and I was quite thankful for that, because it said in the description, this is just the box. I didn't wait to read the description. I saw the price of this fucking thingamahopper, and I was like, fuck yeah. You like my fuck yeah face?
Yeah, I do like your fuck yeah face. Fuck yeah, I like your fuck yeah face. You're
So,
what? I need a man bra.
the fuck was that? Why? Why would you need something like that?
Because I've got moobs.
Display them proudly. Say, look, world. What man?
I don't think I wanna show my moobs on camera.
Proudly off the camera. Don't be too proud.
Last week, Bob, you and I talked about some bar stories in Puerto Rico.
Yes, the Puerto Rican bar stories.
Well, we
Joe's.
Yeah, we skipped over the other one, but we didn't talk about Papa Joe's. Now, did you ever have to walk back to the barracks from Papa Joe's?
I know that one time you and me walked back from some bar, and I don't know what it was because I was drinking quite a bit.
It has to be Papa Joe's because it's the only bar that would take. It literally took an hour and a half to walk home from Papa Joe's.
I remember we made a stop and we came home with bags full of stuff. I don't think we should talk about that.
That's actually what I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then. We can. I
I
just
did
didn't know
not.
if we get the rest of their shot.
Unfortunately, I did not originate this idea. This idea originated with Ivy. We were walking home from Papa Joe's one night, absolutely bombed, shit-faced, drunk. I mean, we were staggering drunk. Now, on the way home from Papa Joe's, the road you had to walk on went right beside the golf course on base.
Okay.
Ivy's great idea was to go onto the golf course and take the. He was looking for a certain number flag. Well, it's the middle of the night. The moon isn't out. It's super, super dark. Basically, we found a flag and he took it. The next day, well, okay, let's pretend for a second that the flag he took was blue with white.
Okay.
The next day, the entire golf course had white flags with red numbers on them. So we decided this was a game. We informed 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 12 other people, who I'm sure informed 175 other people, that flags would change color if you stole one. Now, we were only taking the actual flag, not the pole. We left the pole. I personally, and I don't remember, we always found the same green, so I don't remember what number it was, but I had like 4 flags of different colors, and I would hate to be the guy that had to go out and change them all, you know, go out and find out that hole 3 is missing again, and you, oh my God, I gotta go do it again!
I'll tell you what, we were in Naval Mobile Construction Battalion, NMCB 7. So, there wasn't a freaking golf course within 50 miles of that base that had the 7 flag. Because somebody, that was like the battalion game was to get the 7 flag. You had to get the 7 flag. So, like, people were stealing, like, every 7th hole flag, like, my gosh, man, I can imagine people going home on leave and stealing the number 7 flag. I mean, I don't exactly know how many people actually had the flag, because I've never seen anybody have one. But I heard, like, they were getting pissed. I mean, they even passed down on the word of the day one time, something about missing 7 flags and to stop it. Because, like, they knew where it was going. 700 and something drunken CBs. That's where it went.
That's right, taxpayers. We fucked around a whole lot in the Navy.
We did. We went through a lot of alcohol. You can't have that many people drinking that much and not have crazy fucking shit happen.
I don't know where you were at for this. This really worries me, but I'm going to tell you this story. Here, we got another story. This is great stuff here. Story time in the Navy. Hey, we got a second viewer. Hi, second viewer. All right. I got rid of my roommate for the weekend because he went over to Viegas Island, and all the viewer left. Whatever. Anyway, he went over.
There's only one viewer?
Well, it's only Mandy right now, but there was a second. Briefly.
Wow.
Okay, so Chris went to Viegas Island to visit his girlfriend turned wife later on. So he was gone, and I decided I'm going to throw a gigantic party while he's gone. I bought $400 worth of alcohol. Now,
I may remember this.
okay, well, my first attempt to get rid of some of this alcohol was, just putting out a big sign that says "Party in this room," and nobody came up. I ended up just handing out some beers to some of the guys playing dominoes several floors below me.
Bam!
Well, and then I thought, I bet you they're all gathered in. There was like it wasn't a gazebo. It was some sort
Pavilion.
It was the pavilion.
I helped you mix that.
The Black Death.
Black Death? Yeah, I didn't know if it was Black Death or Liquid Death. I still tell people about that. I broke my thing.
The Black Death. Yes, we mixed the Black Death and we took it down to the pavilion. And the that super heavy metal hardcore guy didn't believe there was any alcohol in it because we had thrown too much sugar in it.
Yeah,
Oops.
it was some sort of a cherry flavoring packet thing, and I got some on my fingers, and it didn't wash off for like days. I mean, it was very concentrate cherry flavored stuff. It was very bitter. So we put in like a half pound of sugar. We tasted it, and put in another half pound of sugar. So it tastes like Kool-Aid. So I mean, like everybody down there was doing the same thing. Like, this is good shit. Give me another one. Whoa.
Well, okay, so I was leading up to that. So we got a whole bunch of people drunk, and the next day I had a whole bunch of the people that had drank it. They had come up to me going, "How much was in that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. We lost count after the 5th or 6th bottle." And they're like, "Holy shit!" You know, so they were all lost. And okay, so I had all this alcohol left over, like $200 worth, beer and bottles of tequila and vodka, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You were not here for this part. I attempted to have party 2 in order to get rid of the alcohol because I certainly was not going to drink all of it myself. So, do you remember Crime Spree?
No.
Okay, so his name is Krimsky, but we called him Crime Spree because it was easier. So Crime Spree and I'd gotten him to come up, and he wanted to drink. So we started drinking. I want to say let's just say 5 o'clock on a Saturday evening, and we were drinking. I would say almost nonstop until about 11:30ish. Nobody was coming up to the room, so we actually went to the dance club, the club that, well, if you watch the end of last episode, you'll understand the story that happened there. We'd gone there, gotten some drinks bought for us, and then we would come back, and then we drank a whole bunch more, and Chris was out again, so that was my roommate at the time, Chris. So Crime Spree just slept in his bed, and I passed out in mine, and somewhere around 4:30 in the morning, there's a huge knocking at my door. So I drag my really, really drunk, mostly hungover ass out of bed because, you know, we hadn't stopped drinking until we maybe got 2 hours of sleep that night. So I answer the door, and it was a first-class petty officer in my department. I don't remember his name anymore. No, I do. Strickland. Okay, so Strickland is standing at the door. Strickland's standing at the door, and he says, "We need you to come into the office." I said with as straight a face as I could, "You realize I am completely wasted." And he looked at me, and you could tell by looking at him that he was not sober either, but he was completely in uniform, and he's like, "Yep. Be in as soon as you can get down there." And
that's the cool thing about the military is they didn't give a fuck if you were drinking. In fact, I think they encouraged it.
Well,
it's almost like it was like write your family at home, write them letters and send them letters. Talk to your. It was like a way of allowing us to cope with the reality that was the military. So write letters, make your phone calls, and fucking drink. So we fucking drank.
We did. Well, I got into uniform, and Crime Spree's supervisor had come up and gotten him out of the room because apparently they had to hunt him down because obviously he wasn't in his room. He also had to go in, so I was really confused. So on my way to my office in Puerto Rico, I would just go into the regular main supply office at first to find out what the hell was going on. On my way there, we discovered that there was a hurricane inbound, and it was going to hit us in the next 12 hours. So I am so hungover, and I just walk into the office, and I see every single member of the supply department in there, including the commander. Staggering around and sitting with their face down on the desk. My favorite one was Tavel. I told you about Tavel.
Mm-hmm.
Hot chick. Anyway, she's sitting in her chair, spinning around on purpose, and she's going, "Woo!" She didn't do stuff like this. So you could tell she was gone too. So I find my group of people. We had to go. We were in charge of the field exercise equipment. Or if we got deployed for some combat, that's the equipment we had. So I went with my people to ours. And what happened starting at 6 a.m., I threw up every hour on the hour for the next 18 hours.
Wow.
That's how drunk I was. Now, the first 3 times, you remember Antuna? Louis.
No.
Okay, well, Louis was the head guy in my particular department. He was a bodybuilder till he got a hernia. He's pretty awesome. Anyway, Antuna, after discovering that I was going to
Hilarious name.
The
Just
what?
saying. It's a funny name.
Yeah. Well, he was Puerto Rican too, actually. Anyway, he noticed after the 3rd time I went to the alley to throw up that I was basically going to be useless in case we needed to hand out stuff. So he said, go lay back on one of those crates in the back there and sleep it off. Well, of course, I had to get up every hour to go throw up. Yeah, I hadn't had anything to eat since before drinking until after I was done throwing up because I could not keep anything down. I mean, I couldn't keep water down. I had crackers. Well, I guess I had crackers, but the crackers came up almost immediately. So yeah, it was bad. And then when I had my first meal, it was the best meal I've ever had in my life because I was really hungry. and I had stopped throwing up. Now you're gonna ask me, hopefully, what that meal was.
What was that meal?
That was the crappy chicken tetrazzini from the galley in Puerto Rico.
I liked that stuff. It was like this blob of unidentifiable...
It was like snot with noodles in it.
Snot noodles!
And I literally, it was the best meal I could ever remember having because I was so hungry.
Wow.
You ever hit anybody?
Whoa.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say how I thought it was cool how when we were in there, they had like one of the things that you were able to get in the galley that I totally loved was eggs done any way that you wanted them. And so there's this one dude who showed up at a party that we had one time. So I said the same thing every day when we go in there. It's like, I want a monstrous ham and cheese omelet and, whatever. Well, this dude, I didn't know that he worked there. So now after he was at this party, he started, the plates were pretty big. And now all of a sudden I'd say, I want a monstrous ham and cheese omelet. And he would make a fucking monstrous, where he would cut it in half and lay them side by side on the plate because, it was like that huge mongus. That's the one who called me Dave.
Dave?
Did I tell you about that?
No.
Okay. There was just one dude. We were playing Dungeons and Dragons one time.
Okay.
And who said that I looked like Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. So he was calling me Dave.
I don't think so.
When I had my long hair, ditched the whiskers, and he called me Dave because that's what he said. So everybody who was there was calling me Dave. This guy who worked in the galley was there. So he was calling me Dave. Now the funny thing is that we had this other party down at the Alpha Company place.
The yard, I guess? I don't know.
Yard, yeah, whatever. And there was this chick there who looked just like Mallory Knox. Remember from Natural Born Killers?
Oh, Juliette Lewis.
Well, she said that I don't look like a Bob. I look like a Brian. And she was calling me Brian. And, as long as I know who you're talking to, I'm okay with it. You call me whatever. I don't give a fuck. So, here we were at the pool, like a week or two later. And this guy who was working in the galley was, I have no idea who his name was, so I'm going to refer to him as the guy from the galley. Well, I'm sitting on a chair. I just get out of the water. I'm fucking beat. I'm laying down on his chair. He's laying down on a chair next to me, and I'm hearing, Brian! Brian! And I look over, I'm like, oh, hey! And it's this fucking Mallory. Which wasn't her name either, but that's what I referred to her as because she looked like Mallory Knox. And so this dude's like, Dave, why is she calling you Brian? I'm like, that's just what she calls me. It's like, but that's not your name, Dave. And I was like, neither's Dave. And I thought that was hilarious because, I mean, he almost seemed like he was upset that like this woman was like calling me by some name that wasn't mine, and he had no idea that my name wasn't Dave because that's all he ever. I knew he was talking to me when he said that, so I would answer him. So he just assumed that was my name. I think that was hilarious and funny and stuff.
You ever hitting anyone in the head with a coconut?
I don't recall ever doing this. Did I do that?
No, funny story.
Sounds like something I would do.
You remember the dentist, the really cool dentist who was a full lieutenant?
Yes.
Okay. There was a group of us going to a beach in Puerto Rico, and he found out that we were going and he wanted to come with, but because he was super cool, it was like, sure, come on with. We went to the officer area in Puerto Rico, and oh my God, was that area nice compared to the crap we had to deal with. So, we go, he takes us in, he grabs his stuff, and we get to see basically, the officers were living in little mini apartments, and he said the CO's room was twice as big as his, and his was bigger than our studio apartment.
Wow.
And it had multiple rooms in Puerto Rico. No. Okay, so.
Even the Chiefs' rooms were huge. They lived by themselves, and it was like a freaking huge room.
I got a Chiefs story too, but hang on here. So we go out, and they had these really nice palm trees in there, or, well, you know, the trees that had coconuts in them, in their back area. And he's showing us these coconuts and stuff, and somebody made, you know, a comment like, you know, you guys ever shimmy up these? And he's like, well, no, that's just silly. And somebody made a comment like, well, will it bend if you get too far up? He's like, no, these trees are pretty solid. So my first theory was, let's kick the tree. And I did. And somebody got hit in the head with a coconut.
Wow.
Now,
go again.
well, he had a headache and he was done for the day. But there was a glancing blow, and it was like blood coming off his head because it basically, you know, scraped his face. We all thought it was hilarious. He didn't.
Who was the chief with the chainsaw?
Chief with the chainsaw?
There's a chief in Puerto Rico who bought a chainsaw, and we were all fucking drunk because we were Seabees, and he cut down a palm tree with his chainsaw. And then we're all like, fuck. Well, now what? Here it is. So there was a couple guys, well, more than a couple. There's about 4 guys who swam this cut down tree all the way out to the island that was out there. Came back, and they did this drunk. So they came back. I mean, it was like they were gone for like hours. The next morning, here's this freaking palm tree on the beach.
Wow.
Yeah. They brought it all the way out to the island, and then it like the tides just kind of brought it back in. Hey, little kitty.
I did my galley duty the first time I went to Okinawa, so in 95, in the late half of 90, or in the late half of our deployment in early 95. So
95, full house.
I don't know how I got selected to do this, but I was the one chosen to take care of the Chiefs' mess. It was me and 2 little Japanese ladies.
duty in the Chiefs mess.
Well, it was no, there was two of us because we had to rotate because we had the 5 and 2 schedule. You were on 3 days, off 2, and then on 2, and then off 3. You had 5 on. You alternated, so it was me and Mosny. We were the chief mess guys. So, and we had two little Japanese ladies that were there every day to help out, Chiyoko and Miko, and I remember their names because they were awesome. Chiyoko didn't speak a word of English, and she was hilarious. So, every time I ended up working the weekend for the Chiefs, I had the Chiefs come in, and there was only a couple of them that did this, but the couple of them that did this knew that they weren't going to. I wasn't going to go rattling this off to everybody. So the one chief, he comes in and he goes, "We've got some activities tonight. Do you think you could cook up a bunch of, I don't know, cheeseburgers or something for us and just leave them in the fridge?" And I'm like, let's see what's in the fridge. So I went over to the fridge, and yeah, there's patties all over the place. I'm like, "How many do you want?" He's like, "How many are there?" And I'm like, "Well, looks like there's about 40. He's like, "Perfect."
We need 40.
So before I got off one Saturday night, I had to cook 40 cheeseburgers and put them on a platter and stick them in the fridge. Now, Chiyoko and Miko always left at about, I want to say 6 o'clock at night. Basically, after the meal, they'd clean up, and at 6 o'clock it'd be over, and they could go home.
Mm-hmm.
They both stayed to help me, and I told them, "No, you can go. This is fine." And they're like, no, we stay. There was a mountain of cheeseburgers. We actually had to take one of the shelves. We had to clear one of the shelves in the fridge, take it completely out of the fridge, put the tray in, because that was the only way it was going in.
Wow.
So, now, because I was the Chief's mess cook, I also asked the Chief, "Do you want me to check back with you later on tonight?" And he's like, "Well, aren't you going to be sleeping?" And I'm like, "Well, you only have 40 cheeseburgers. You may need more." He's like, "If you want to swing through, but this doesn't go past these walls." And I'm like, "Okay."
Nice.
So when I went in, that was a fucking zoo. I have never seen aged adult men acting in the manner that they were acting, drunk or sober, ever before. And they had plowed through all 40 cheeseburgers before I even arrived. So I don't know where they were sticking the stuff. But I started raiding the actual galley after hours because I had a key because I could get in. So I kept bringing stuff to them. They ate like a lot. I didn't get much sleep that night, but it was hilarious. It was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
You went to Puerto Rico? No,
Yes, I
sorry.
did.
No, you went to Okinawa, right?
Yes. I was there for 2 weeks in the beginning of deployment and 2 weeks in the end of deployment. And then I was somewhere else for the other parts.
Did you get to see the banana show?
Yes. I might have gone there with you. I remember that you are the one who took me down Whisper Alley.
Yep. Okay, you went to the banana show.
And as soon as, for some reason, you were showing like 4 of us. No, there was 4 of us total. It was like you, me, and 2 other people. And you're like, yeah. And as soon as you saw a girl in a window, you took off running and left us there. We're like, and so we're running after you, having no idea why we're running at all.
Okay.
So, yeah. I bought, like, around the corner from there, a set of purple Dungeons and Dragons dice that were really big.
The store there, the gaming store there was so awesome.
Yes, it was.
It had everything. Okay.
Including purple dice.
Yes. Okay. The reason I bring the banana show up, do you remember who Chief York is? He's... Let's just describe... Hang on a second. Unprofessional, I know. Okay.
That's
Chief
okay. In 5 minutes, I'm going to wipe my ass.
Chief York, you can basically picture as a blonde scarecrow. Okay, he was a little wiry supply chief. He was very angry while he was at work, but he was fairly nice to be around after work. Anyway, at the banana show, every single time the lady on the stage would pick the drunkest person in the stage to eat the banana. And I will explain for Mandy and our other viewers what the banana show is. So, I never ate the banana. But
No, me neither.
Here's the banana show. You would go in, the place would be packed. You had to go early to get a seat, otherwise you were standing. And there's no comfort in the banana show club. I think it was Club Mercury, I believe, is the one it was in. And if you had a booth and 4 people could comfortably fit in the booth, there was going to be 8 to 10 people in that booth. And the people that were on the outsides would have 2 or 3 people jammed up against them. The table would be pushed in. I mean, that place was packed. So, the banana show. We'd gotten there early one night, way early, and it's too long to explain tonight what the Okinawa club scene was like, but this fairly hot chick was dancing before, and then she leaves, and then we were told the banana show was going to start, and you know, some of us thought that the hot chick was going to come back out and do the show. No. This little old lady...
Somebody's grandmother.
Somebody's grandmother. How about somebody's great-grandmother, okay? This short, little, fat, old lady comes out.
With 2 snakes. She came out with 2 snakes at first, and she was just dancing around with the 2 snakes.
In a see-through negligee. And you were looking at it going, oh my God, stop, no!
I don't remember seeing anything on snakes. I think they were...
No, she was wearing... That was good timing, Bob. Good timing. Anyway, so she's dancing around with these snakes, and she's all rubbing them up on her titties and putting them on her back and juggling them and all kinds of shit. And I'm scared to death of snakes. And one time I saw the banana show 3 times, and one time I was jammed up against the stage, and the people that jammed me up against the stage knew I was afraid of snakes. Now, because she always does the whole whoa to everybody that's close to the stage. It drove me nuts. Anyway, the snakes in this cage, and they disappear. Some little ninja came out and got them or something. So then she would get out a wad of change, and for the explanation, I am just going to say pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. And she would grab a beer bottle off of a table. Didn't matter if there was stuff in it or not. If it was your beer bottle, it was gone.
There's a metal tray about this big, and she took the coins that were in there, and she's like this, and she's like, so that was people's cue to throw quarters up and stuff.
So, and then she'd take the bottle, and she'd set it...
I hardly remember this at all.
She'd take the bottle, and she'd set it on the stage, and then she'd stack all the change up, and then she would waddle over on top of it, squat, and it was gone. And you're like, did that just go in her cooter?
It's like, where'd my quarter go?
Here's the scary part, Mandy. Here's the scary part. She would go to several people, and she'd ask, give me an amount. And you knew exactly how much. She was going to say, how much change do you want? So we... At first, it was easy stuff like 75 cents, and 75 cents would come out of her twat. And then, as time went on, and my second time at the show, she actually asked me once, and I was like, $1.43. I would be dipped in shit and rolled in hay if $1.43 didn't come out of her vagina.
Wow. I remember her squatting over that metal dish and just... and like ting 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 as these coins came out. She's it's like
she had somebody
pulled her arm or anything, and she just starts jackpot ting 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 ting.
Pull her arm. Well, she made me count my $1.43, and oh my God,
no cherries. Just sorry,
yeah.
what?
It was $1.43 in that pan, and then after that was done, she'd get all the change out of her. Man, you bet you $1.43, because I wanted a weird number. Okay, so then she takes the coins away and the beer bottle disappears. So whoever bought that beer was fairly upset. And, my second time we all made sure, those that made sure that they were up near the stage were chugging the beer before the show would start. So then she'd bring out the bundle of the bunch of bananas. And this started out fairly mundane. She'd, show everybody that the banana was going in, and she'd spin around, make sure everybody see, and then it would disappear, and she'd move her legs a little bit, and chunks would fall out, and then she'd sweep the chunks off the side and do it with the next banana. She'd do that every time. And then she would find the drunkest guy, which was normally a Marine, in the audience, drag him up on stage, and shoot some banana in his mouth from that location.
She would shoot bananas, yes.
Yes. Now, the reason I went through that whole scenario, we're going to get back to Chief York, the blonde scarecrow. I am cooking in the Chief's mess in Okinawa one night. And the one chief came in to ask me to make some food, so I was making food late again. I don't remember what I was making that night, but the next... They were taking a lot of fruit out of the kitchen that night, like fruit of all kinds, bananas, oranges, apples. It was weird because normally they wanted junk food when they were all drunk. So I was like, okay, whatever. The next morning, I came in, and Chief York's mailbox was stuffed to the hilt with bananas. And he came down, and this happened for 4, 5, 6 weeks. Every single day, his mailbox was billowing out with bananas. So, so I finally asked somebody, I don't remember who I asked, but they had told me that the reason the other chiefs are doing that is because Chief York ate the banana.
Wow.
Chief York came down one night, and off hours we were friendly, but he was my chief, so I knew how he was in the office too. And one day he comes down. This was like 3.5 weeks into it, and he comes down and he goes, "I don't want to see any fucking bananas in this place ever again." I'm like, Chief, I don't bring the bananas. I don't. I make them available if they're here. He's like, you make them disappear. If I see a banana in here, you're in trouble. And I was like, oddly enough, I never had a banana again in that area, and he still had his mailbox jammed full for another week and a half. So they were getting the bananas from somewhere. It was...
Wow. See, you can do a lot of things in your life. This is just words to live by. We've been on the air for an hour and 45 minutes almost. That you could be a great runner, and they won't say, "Look, the runner." You could be a great musician or artist. You eat the banana one fucking time, and you never hear the end of it. So, let that be a lesson to you. Unless you really love bananas, fucking eat banana.
Oh, you're right, Bob. We have been on a long time, and I need to get my ass downstairs and do some walking because I'm fat and I need some more steps.
Don't eat the banana. How's that for a title for the show?
Well, we're gonna do the show title thing like we did last week. So, do you have anything else, Bob, for our happy viewer who is laughing at the chief?
I actually have. There's some more stories that I have, but I think we'll wait for a different show for that because we used a lot of our stories.
We did. And you know what? I'm finding that if we just mine the Navy stories, we can make this go on for at least 20 episodes. Because I got a lot of them.
It's cool because we've done it the same way every time. We go from this topic to this topic to this topic to this topic to this topic. Navy stories.
And
yeah,
we even do like Monty Python, where I'll just throw something out like, "Have you ever hit anyone in the head with a coconut?"
Nice. Yeah.
So next week, Mandy, your job, and anyone else watching this on YouTube after the fact, next week, Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern, Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, We're live on YouTube and Google Plus, and you're going to join us. And you can find all of our information on limeflavor.com. Bob, you're going to be with me next week?
Yes, sir.
And I will attempt to remember. I'm going to have to set a reminder or something. It's so bad.
I had to go looking for him this week, sort of.
Whoops. We'll fix
It's all
that.
good.
All right, so we'll see you next time, Bob.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.
We were talking about our lives and stuff, and one of the things that I was wanting to talk about was actually about how the military pretty much saved my life. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but there was. Did you ever watch the show Full House?
Unfortunately, a little bit of it, yes.
I know, it was pretty bad. Back when I was in high school, we had this project that we had to do where we had to write to a show with like a script idea, and I'll be damned, they actually accepted one of the script ideas that I put in, and they offered me a job. So once I graduated high school, I was a writer for that show for a while. It was just the last season, but which was kind of cool. We were able to actually meet like the people on the show and everything.
I see.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, dude, the drugs that actually went on with the cast, the crew, the writers, everything was insane. They actually encouraged it. I was like, but what if there's a piss test? And they're like, what, you think you're gonna get hurt? And it's showing me like the computer. It's like, no. Well, they say they felt that like the drugs encouraged creativity, but it wasn't long before I wasn't even there for what, 7 months before I ended up getting fired. But I'll tell you what, dude, I was actually living like in a bus station for almost a month, and that's when the military recruiter, like he actually sat down in his uniform. He sat down on the ground next to me, and I thought he was gonna give me some money and everything. And he's like, dude, what are you doing with your life? And I was like, well, I had big plans, but he pretty much talked me into joining the military, and that actually like turned my whole life around and made me what I am now. It's just 4 years in the military, and been drug-free ever since.
It's brave. It's brave.
Yeah.
Before we got out of the Navy, I met Rodney, I want to say his last name was Johnson. Rodney Johnson. He had blonde hair, was fairly skinny, though muscular, and he had a mullet. Now, I was confused about his mullet, so I asked him about it one day. Well, it turns out that Rodney, let me fix my camera there, that Rodney is actually, goes by the name Rockin' Rodney, who was a professional wrestler for the local company in Mississippi at the time. They don't exist anymore, at least not as a wrestling company, like a active product. They're a training school now. King Style Professional Wrestling. Now, at that time, they called themselves King Style Championship Federation or something like that. It was.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You remember that? Okay, so Rodney and I got back and forth to talking, and I was a big WWE fan back then, and I was starting to get into the WCW stuff because Sting was starting to dress up like the Crow. So Rodney and I are talking, and it turned out that their crowds at King Style weren't necessarily the largest, so it was easier to get in and kind of get your foot in. So I said, Rodney, I want to wrestle. And Rodney was like, hell yeah, you can be my tag team partner. And so I was, okay, I'm in. I got it cleared with the Navy, and I was a professional wrestler for 18 months. Now, I say 18 months because the last 6 were technically I was deployed. Now, I was not DJ Allen. I was not Dustin Allen. I was not anything Allen. I was not anything Dustin. I was Kid Lightning. You remember the tights? I had a half, it was a singlet. It was half baby blue and half darker blue. So
I remember you wearing that. You had a cape that you would...
Well, only to the ring. I only wore the cape to the ring. And I had lightning bolts on both ass cheeks. Now, I never amounted to anything. In fact, to the rest of the world, it's anyone who knows wrestling will understand that I said that when I used the term jobber. Okay, I lost a lot, but I learned a lot by losing. So Rodney and I didn't amount to much, and I ended up being more comic relief, I guess. But I did get to do some high-flying stuff, and I got to learn how to professional wrestle. Now, did that turn into anything? No, I'm a fat guy living in North Dakota now. I'm not in Mississippi. I haven't been with King Style in over 15 years. It's a sad day. But I was a pro wrestler for a little while.
But you had a chance to do it, yeah. And a lot of people actually dream of doing things like that, and you actually got to live that life.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Just like your dream of writing for Full House.
It wasn't really a dream. It was just a good,
A happenstance?
It just happens, yeah. It actually, that was the last year that it aired, was the year that I graduated, which was in 1995.
Well, the King Style, I wouldn't have thought it'd be a professional wrestler. Like I liked watching it, but I never thought of being a professional wrestler until that.